just 3 years in business, and you're sitting trying to figure out what you're going to do and thinking, how did we get here? This is exactly what happened to a couple of mine that retained me not too long ago. But you know what? This story isn't unique to them. This story is the story of many. When I say many, I'd say more than half of the business owners I work with. Again, they're phenomenal at what they do, but taxes aren't their thing. So when they sit in front of me and they say, we don't know how this happened, how can we do better moving forward? I share these 3 things with them that I want to share with you today.
Welcome to the Tax Relief with Timalyn Bowens podcast. Are you behind on taxes? Is the IRS threatening you or your business? Are you overwhelmed and confused about how to resolve your tax issues? Let's join Timalyn as she explains your options and how she may be able to help. Timalyn Bowens is America's favorite EA.
Hey, family. Welcome to episode 41. You all, this year has gone by so fast, and it's crazy just how fast the year has gone. But in addition to that, you all have been here with me for 41 episodes. So I most definitely want to tell you thank you for that. And I hope if you've been around for all 41, you don't have a tax problem that's lingering, right? So the whole purpose of Tax Relief with Timalyn Bowens is to help you not only get out of tax issues, but also avoid them. So for my business owners, this episode is especially for you. I want you to think about this. When you first started your business, you had all of these goals. I like to divide mine into income goals and impact goals. Who am I going to impact with this service and product? How much money am I going to get from doing that? And being excellent at that. Because if you're listening to this, it's very likely that you owe right now, or you're scared you're going to owe in the future. And if that's the case, it's very likely you're phenomenal at what you do, just like most of my clients. So you've just hit your income goal. You know this because you're looking at the different Stripe reports. Maybe you're using QuickBooks. I don't know. You're using a merchant service system, right? But you have no idea how much money you spent in your business. So when you get everything together to have your books cleaned up at tax time, you find out that you owe. But right now you're in the mix of everything, and you say you're going to take care of it next year. You're going to stay on top of keeping track of everything. But we get to year 2. It's phenomenal. You're phenomenal. You exceeded last year's income goal, and you find out that you owe again. Except this time, it's almost double what it was the year before, and you didn't make any payments in. So you have a lot of penalties. Well, now you have this pit in your stomach every time you go to the mailbox. You have a pit in your stomach every time somebody mentions taxes. But you keep on selling because now you have this amazing social media presence. Sales aren't quite as good as they were in year 1 and 2 because now you're scared to sell because you don't want to owe the IRS. After year 3, you owe roughly $200,000 to the IRS. Just 3 years in business, and you're sitting trying to figure out what you're going to do and thinking, how did we get here? This is exactly what happened to a couple of mine that retained me not too long ago. But you know what? This story isn't unique to them. This story is the story of many. When I say many, I'd say more than half of the business owners I work with. Again, they're phenomenal at what they do, but taxes aren't their thing. So when they sit in front of me and they say, we don't know how this happened, how can we do better moving forward? I share these 3 things with them that I want to share with you today. So today's episode is 3 ways to reduce your business tax liability. Okay? Most definitely get your pen and paper for this one. All right? So go ahead, pause the episode, get the pen and paper, take notes in your phone, get ready to do that. Because this is 3 things. Because if you owe over $100,000, you can afford these things I'm about to tell you to get. Okay? So I want to make sure that you make these investments to not only reduce your business tax liability going forward, but also to stop the bleeding so you can get these back taxes behind you. All right. So, number 1, the first way to reduce your business tax liability is to be proactive. Whenever I am sitting with a business owner on Zoom or on the phone that's facing this situation, they can always admit they have not been proactive. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take responsibility for that now. It's water under the bridge. From this point forward, you are going to make sure that your business is investing in itself with experts. Because I don't know about you, but the best return on investment that I always get is when I make an investment in myself. So what you need to do is look at your business the same way. I'm not saying you go get a loan from somebody or you cash out your 401k that you have for rainy days to put in the business. That's okay, but your business itself needs to have some skin in the game. And I'm not telling you to go buy equipment. I'm telling you invest in an expert. Now, shameless plug here, because I know my tax pro friends listen too. On September 18th, so roughly 6 weeks ago, I launched the Tax Pros Representation Journey. I had tax professionals come to me and they said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe it's this low. Are you sure?" They went ahead and subscribed. I had other tax professionals that looked at it and they're like, "I'd really like to do this, but I don't know if I can afford to." And I remembered myself and investing in my business and I was like, can you really afford not to? Because here's the thing. When you make sure that your business is investing in an expert within your industry, the return on investment should be 2-3 times X whatever the investment is. But check this out. Within 3 weeks of being in the Tax Pros Representation Journey, 75% of the people that were in the subscription already had already brought on new clients and they'd already made back more than what the subscription is for a year. It works the same way with your business, okay? Now, I'm only going to cover the financial part. There are other experts that you can hire, but you guys know I like to stay in my lane. So I'm going to only talk about who you should hire on the financial side. So when you're looking at these experts, the first persons I want you to look at are a bookkeeper, accountant. Okay, now I've done episodes before where I talk about how to hire a tax professional. You can use those same steps when hiring a bookkeeper. We're just going to swap out bookkeeper for tax professional, okay? Because here's the thing. A bookkeeper is getting your information after the fact, all right? It is historical data. But why do you need this data and how is that going to actually reduce your business tax liability? Well, one, you're going to pay the bookkeeper, right? So that is a tax deduction. It's going to reduce the amount of money that you're taxed on. But check this out. Once you are actually able to keep track of your historical data, you can use that to make projections. So for example, right now I'm working with somebody that's in the transportation industry, okay? They have a fleet of trucks. They owe the IRS. We are trying to figure out estimated tax payments, and they gave me their information for this year, last year, and the year before. Using that data and seeing how they're trending this year and the prior 2 years, I was able to make a projection about what quarter four is going to look like with their current contracts. Okay. Now, that projection is based on data that I had specific to their business, and then look at how the industry is doing overall. You can't make these projections if you don't know your numbers. The other place that is going to help you with reducing your business tax liability is it's going to reveal the areas of weakness. Okay. Different transportation company, but they also have multiple vehicles. All right. And when we got down to the nitty gritty, when they got the books clean, they had somebody tracking different logs. One spouse runs day-to-day operations. One spouse is actually in the weeds of the business. They were able to actually look and say, hey, that expense is way off. That means we're not being efficient in X, Y, and Z. And you know how long they hadn't been efficient there? For almost a year. You know why they didn't notice? Because they didn't know their numbers. Knowing your numbers helps you to stop the leak wherever those weaknesses are, and to figure out how to either eliminate those, fix them, make them stronger. It helps you to pivot so you're not bleeding out money. So not only was hiring a bookkeeper a good investment because we found these areas of weakness, they're now going to save money in that area because they're not going to be spending unnecessary money. Is this making sense? But that's not the only, those aren't the only two things that a bookkeeper can help with. It's going to show areas of opportunity. So another couple I was working with, they don't keep up with their books, right? They do all of the bookkeeping at the end of the year. They lump expenses together, no details. When we were looking at that, I told them, based on the information that you provided me, you have almost $7,500 left every month. And they're like, oh no, we're not actually seeing that. But think about this. Think about you and your business. Even if you don't have a business yet, but you're getting ready to start one, whenever you get a promotion, do you automatically save the extra money? Or do you find yourself in the middle of a little lifestyle creep, right? I don't know what it is about my daughter, but I feel like she can smell when I have more money, right? If you're a parent, you know exactly what I mean. It's more Chick-fil-A during the week. It's now I want to take dance lessons, do theater, a new activity. And being a parent, I'm happy to do those things for my daughter. But if I don't watch my budget and we getting into this lifestyle creep, I'll have new money coming in, but I won't ever see it and I won't realize it until I go back to look at my personal budget. This is the same thing that happens in your business. You're happy to spend money in your business to make things more efficient because you want those deductions. But as you make more money and it's making your life easier, are you actually tracking how much money you have coming in and what's going out? Probably not. Once you have the bookkeeping in place, you see areas of opportunity where you can make actual investments that you'll get a return on investment with. All right. So for example, you may want to outsource something that you do in your job or your business rather. Excuse me, not your job, your business, you run it. But you won't know if you can truly afford to do that if you don't know what your numbers are, right? You could end up hiring somebody and then having to let them go almost immediately because you couldn't actually afford it. You just thought you could based on what you saw coming in. Knowing your numbers puts you in a position to make informed decisions, which takes me to the last thing I want to talk about today. The third way to reduce your business tax liability, and I want to point out it's not limited to 3, just sharing 3 today, is investing in a tax plan. Now, a lot of taxpayers, they think that compliance, which is tax preparation, and tax planning all come in one package, and they don't. And I don't know what it is about accountants. Sometimes we have a hard time explaining that these are different services and a hard time just saying no, that's a separate engagement. But check this out. Tax preparation is going to be after the fact, right? We're just reporting to the IRS what already happened. Tax planning is going to take what already happened using your current information that you get from bookkeeping to look for areas of opportunity for you to save. Okay? So with a tax plan, this is specific to you. It's not something you found off TikTok that worked for one person and is going to work exactly the same way for you. That is very seldom that it happens that way. When you make an investment with a professional that specializes in tax planning, they will help you with specific strategies for your situation that are customized to fit you. Not all tax professionals are tax planning experts. Okay, I will say it again. Not all tax professionals are tax planning experts. Even myself, I know enough strategies to be dangerous and how to implement them. But would I say I specialize in that? No. You all know me. I fill the tax literacy gap one taxpayer at a time, right? I give you enough information to be dangerous. I specialize in tax representation, where I step into taxpayers' shoes and I negotiate that tax debt. I get liens removed, levies removed, right? That's what I specialize in. So if you owe the IRS right now and you're interested in working with me, that's amazing. I am your person for tax representation to get that taken care of. But to make sure that you remain in compliance, that you have a tax plan so that you can reduce your business tax liability in the future, I would connect you to one of my partners that I work with. All right? Because we don't want something that's just dangerous enough, right? We want something specific that's going to be customized to fit you, your lifestyle, and your goals. Now, if you want more information on ways to reduce your business tax liability, this is a topic that I will be covering very soon on my blog, Tax Tips with Timalyn. You can find this at bowenstaxsolutions.com. There's a tab for Tax Tips with Timalyn. Go ahead and subscribe. Also, I will be doing a video series on YouTube. So if you're listening to this right now on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the bell, little notification number. But if you're on Spotify or somewhere else listening to this, you can go to YouTube and find me at America's Fave EA. Before you go, like this episode, share it with a business owner, right? Because sharing is caring. And make sure that you subscribe. But in all seriousness, and I would not be doing my due diligence if I did not tell you this, if you find yourself right now facing the IRS alone and you need to make sure you take care of that back tax debt before you can look at reducing your tax liability, I want to invite you to book a consultation with me. And it is going to be a paid consultation, but you can book that at bowenstaxsolutions.com, and we will take an hour to talk about your tax situation with your notices and create a roadmap for you to get through that. Because remember, back taxes shouldn't ruin your life. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to listen today. I'd like to thank Jim Ray Consulting Services for helping me get this message out to you. I hope you found the information helpful. Did you know 1 in 50 people have a tax problem? Please share this episode with your friends and family because you never know who may need help. Again, thanks for listening. Hey, just as a reminder, this podcast is for informational and educational purposes only. It provides a framework and possible solutions for solving your tax problems, but it is not legally binding. Please consult your tax professional regarding your specific tax situation.